right. My name is Michael Alden. This is the Alden Report. We are here in Blue Vase Studios. I haven't really riffed, so to speak, and just, me on the mic talking about things that I feel as though that are important. I don't want to just create content. There's a lot of guys out there that are telling you just to create content so you can, get more followers and more subscribers than try and sell a bunch of shit. I don't do that. I want to make sure that the content that I create is real. It's authentic. You can relate to it. If you can't relate to it, then I'm not gonna put it out there. I really want to make sure that whatever I'm saying can add value, to you, and hopefully resonate with you, and hopefully motivate you, and hopefully have a positive impact on your life. So again, I'm excited to talk about what I want to talk about, but it all kind of stemmed from a post that I posted on Instagram. My Instagram is at MikeAlden2012. And it's at MikeAlden2012. And I posted an image of me in our television studio with a quote that said, "They said I couldn't, so I did. They said I couldn't, so I did." And then I went on to describe some of the things throughout my life, and some of the people, and some of the statements, and some of the things that were said to me throughout my life that essentially told me that I couldn't do something, that I couldn't be successful, that I couldn't be an author, that law school wasn't for me, or that college, wasn't for me. Literally from birth, my mother was told, not to expect much from me due to complications during my mother's pregnancy. And when I was first born, I had seizures on the whole left side of my body, and I was in ICU for the first, several months of my life. And again, neurologists and things of this nature, and doctors like this said, "Hey, look, he's not really gonna be much." And that's how I started out in life. And I think about so many other people that have actually had much worse situations in life. And then I think about the people that are really starting to drive me fucking nuts. These are the people that are posting on Facebook. These are the people that are posting on Twitter. These are the people that are posting on Instagram. Things like FML, fuck my life. Oh, fuck my life. Or my life is so bad. Or boy, I can't catch a break. Or people are posting about here locally that they're upset about the high rent in the town that I live in. People just posting about that. And I'm like, well, why do you care about what other people are trying to charge for an apartment? If you can't afford it, then you shouldn't live here. I mean, that's the answer. It's not because someone else can get, $1,400 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment, which, by the way, in some parts of the country is very low. In other parts of the country, it's very high. Okay, it all really depends on where you live. We live here in Massachusetts. But people are always looking at others and always, constantly complaining about why their life isn't where they want it to be. And yet they do nothing. They do absolutely nothing to change it. Right? They do absolutely nothing to change it. And then the statement that I posted on Instagram, they said I couldn't, so I did. Some people made little kind of cute remarks like, well, hey, you should really kind of look at what you said grammatically. That's probably not the right way to say it. Fuck you, is what I wanted to say to them. You don't like my grammar, okay? Unfollow me, all right? Don't buy my books. Don't listen to this podcast. Whatever it is, if that's how you interpret what I said when I put myself out there and tell you some of the personal things in my life, so that hopefully it'll resonate with you, and then that's all you can care about. That's all you think about is grammatically it doesn't look proper. Here's the good news: is from that post, I had a lot of people actually reach out to me. A lot of people reached out to me and sent me messages and said that that it really helped them think about some of the things and the difficult times in their life and help put it in perspective. Now, the things that have been done to me throughout the years from my family members telling me that I couldn't or I wouldn't be able to get into college, or I wasn't fast enough to play Division 2, ultimately Division 3, but started out Division 2 football, or I wasn't smart enough to get into law school, or I didn't have the right credentials to be successful in business. All those people that have said those things to me, or they said you can't do a particular thing. Again, I don't necessarily believe that most of those people were being malicious. I mean, some of these people are family members that loved me and love me. And where it comes from them, like what part of their brain, where it comes from, where they feel the need to tell someone that they can't do something, it really comes down to their own insecurities, okay, and their own inabilities to be successful themselves. So you always hear about people who are in bad company like to have others around them. They want to bring people down, right? They love to bring people down, and it's human nature, and it drives me nuts. Again, I don't think that they necessarily tried to be malicious. They just did it. And I'm not mad at them. In fact, if it wasn't for some of those things, if it wasn't for some of those negative statements, right, the negative, comments or even without even saying anything, the way people look at you, if it wasn't for those things, I probably wouldn't be the person that I am today. And so for you, as you're listening to this and you think about the people that have said negative things to you, and the people that told you that you couldn't, and the people that told you that you weren't smart enough, and the people that told you you weren't big enough, or you're too big, or you're too small, or you're not tall enough, or your skin tone is not the right color, or the way you grew up, we just don't do that in this family. We're farmers. I know you want to go to college, but that's not for you. College isn't a part of your life. It's not something that you can do. If you want to do something, if you want to be something, if you want to have something, you need to actually go out and do something. Okay? So take that negative energy, and especially, in the world of Facebook, there are so many haters out there, and a lot of people talk about the haters, and I talk about it all the time in some of my trainings. I talk about it in my books. I obviously have talked about it in some of my podcasts about, not caring about what other people say, and I live by that, but at the same time, I've also said that I'm also human as well. And when people talk about you in a negative way, in a negative light, especially when it's present day, it's hard, okay? It's hard to not feel that emotion or feel that pain, so to speak. But what I also tell people is to take that negative energy, harness it, and use it to your advantage. They said I couldn't, so I did. But I get so frustrated with so many people who might see that post, or they might think about it today and they say, I'm going to go out and do something. And then, they're all excited, they're all fired up, and then they just don't do it. For whatever reason, they're making excuses again, like we just talked about, for why they can't do it. But yet, they're unhappy with where they're at in life. It is the classic definition of insanity. They're literally doing the same thing over and over and over again, and then they're posting on Facebook and telling you how bad their fucking life sucks and how upset they are with where they're at in life and why it's always someone else's fault, and yet they do nothing about it. I've been fortunate to literally be around billionaires. I've sat down with billionaires. I've interviewed some of the most successful people in the world on my podcast, The Alden Report, that you're listening to right now. I've been to dinner with some of the most successful people in the world, and one of the things that I've learned from all of these people is that there is no secret formula to success. There is no secret pill to success. Again, you've heard me talk about success and the definition of success. There's nothing new that's out there. There's no new technology that's going to make you successful. But the one thing that runs deep amongst all successful people, and one universal trait amongst all successful people, is that they do stuff. They take action. They don't just talk about it. And they don't spend time on Facebook talking about how their life sucks and telling the world that their life sucks, and no, today's such a bad day, or I'm having such a down day, and man, why can't I catch a break, or my boss sucks. Hopefully it don't work for me, because if I see that, I'll fire you. Take that negative energy, the things that people have said to you throughout your life, the people that are saying to you today, and do something. I was talking to someone actually, a good friend of mine reached out to me today in particular about this post, and we talked for an hour today, and it really got me going on why I decided I want to come in and talk about, this subject, and talk about why so many people just aren't doing things, but yet they're constantly bitching about it. And as a soccer coach myself, who coaches, now U11, young girls, and I think about, their parents, and I think about, just athletics in general in the current state we're in. And so many people you hear about, everybody gets a trophy, or everybody gets a medal, or everybody gets a ribbon. Okay. Well, fortunately, in the leagues that my daughter's in and the teams that we've played on, that isn't the case. Everybody doesn't get a trophy. Everybody doesn't get a medal. Everybody doesn't win. Okay. We've been on teams that have literally won every single game, and we've been on teams that have lost every single game. 99.9% of every child, whether it be baseball, football, soccer, it doesn't matter, they are not going to be professional athletes. And the things that they're learning on the field today are the character-building things that will help them become successful in life. And I was fortunate enough to have coaches that really did tear into me and break you down, and make you humble, but also make you hungry and make you want more out of life, out of yourself, to be successful, to be somebody, to do something. So when I think about the statements, again, for me in particular, and the things that people said to me, I'm glad. I'm happy that people said those negative things about me. Just today, I went on a bike ride today before we came into the office, and I live in a beautiful neighborhood on a private street, and we just, we built the house a year and a half ago. It's gorgeous, minutes from the beach, and there are some other neighborhoods that I drive through because I want to be one of those people that live in one of those houses. And don't get me wrong, my house is gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful, but I don't dream build. A lot of people dream build. I create visions in my head of what I want in life. And just today, I was riding my mountain bike through this one private street right on the water here in beautiful Beverly, Massachusetts. It's a private street. Technically shouldn't have been there, I guess. And someone looked at me and gave me a look, and I was just in a t-shirt, of course, and shorts, and helmet, because safety is important. And this person looked at me like I don't belong, And I saw that look because I've seen it my whole life. And man, I tell you, it pissed me off because I knew exactly what they were thinking. I knew exactly what they were thinking, even though my house is literally just a few streets down. It's a big difference between where I'm talking about. You can go a couple of streets. Just a couple streets down, even though my house is there, a beautiful house in its own private street, in its own private way, up on a hill. It's gorgeous, again, right on the water. This neighborhood in particular, they could just, tell that maybe I didn't belong there, maybe because I don't know why, the t-shirt I was wearing or the shorts that I was wearing, or maybe the mountain bike I was riding wasn't, didn't quite fit in with this neighborhood, and it pissed me off. But it also reminded me that I need to harness that negative energy and that anger sometimes, or that chip on my shoulder, and take that energy and do something with it. You see, again, I was vision building, right? I was in that neighborhood for a reason, because one of those houses I will someday live in. It's not a matter of if, just a matter of when. And it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Because people told me I could never be in that neighborhood. People told me I didn't belong in that neighborhood. Just today, someone looked at me and essentially told me that I didn't belong in that neighborhood. And fuck them, okay? So when you've been told something negative, when you've been treated poorly, when you think that, that the world is against you, and you think that you just can't catch a break, you got to take that energy. It's the only way it works. You have to take that energy and pull yourself up. Use that energy and take action and do the things that people told you that you couldn't do. When I was talking to my friend today, why do so many people listen to me and understand what I'm saying and still not do anything? Why? Why is it that they don't do anything? And it's usually either the fear of failure or the fear of success, right? You see, the fear of success, what happens is people are afraid of becoming successful, because then when they become successful, then they have to maintain that, and they're afraid what would happen if for whatever reason, they fell off and they lost a little bit of money, or they lost, their home, or they lost whatever it is. So they're really, really afraid of that. So that way so what they do is they don't do anything. And they sit back and they just live a pretty just normal life, a very, very even life, very, very boring life, where they have to keep their head down, and they don't look at people, and they're not controversial, and they don't try and do things. They just kind of just get a paycheck, go to work, come home, have dinner, go to bed, and then just do it over and over again. And they just literally, they're like zombies, okay? And those people aren't happy. And they're afraid of what could happen with success. And then you have the same people who are also afraid of failure, okay? They're afraid that when they're trying to become successful, okay, when they're trying to become successful, they won't be successful. They will fail at something. I call them temporary defeats. I learned that from Zig Ziglar. I don't believe in failure. Again, I call them temporary defeats. But a lot of people talk about failure, and so they're afraid that when they're trying to get the thing that they want, or they're trying to do the things that they want, they have missteps, and they quote fail, and it doesn't work, and they get financially hurt, and they had might have got fired from their job, or an invention or an idea that they had, they created it, and then they sent it to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and it didn't register, or they started a business and the business didn't work, or they decided that they wanted to compete in a particular athletic event, whether they're 15 years old or 50 years old, and they finished last. Okay, they're afraid of that because they're afraid of what other people think. And you have to stop worrying about what other people think. Because if you want to go out and do something, stop caring about whatever somebody else says, or what they may say about you, or how they'll look at you. Fuck them. Okay? It's not their life, it's your life. And I realized, from guys like Grant Cardone, who I'm friends with, and Gary Vee, that there's only so many days that we have left on this planet. And so what are you going to do? You're just going to let that fear of failure, or that fear of success, hold you back so that you can just live just an average life. And by the way, if that's what you want, then good for you. If that's what you want, if you just want to live just a monotonous life where you're just working 50 weeks a year so you can have a staycation, and maybe have a couple kids, and then hopefully maybe make just enough money and not too much money so that they can get financial aid, and then they can go through college and kind of do the same thing. If that's what you want, to me it's a sad existence. If that's really what you want, then good for you. Congratulations. But I think most people want more. And I was thinking about money recently, and how much money my companies have generated, and literally hundreds of millions of dollars, and I live a great life. And then I was talking to my accountant, one of my accountants, about money and the use of it, and the importance of it, and why we would want to have money in our coffers, so to speak. And for me, money is important because you need it for business, okay? You need it to live a particular lifestyle, and you need it to do certain things. But it's not the end-all, be-all, okay? It's not the end-all, be-all. What I like about where I'm at in life, and even where I'm trying to get even further in life, is that when you're going about your day-to-day life, getting gas, going out to eat, buying groceries, buying clothes for my daughter, just the simple average things, that everybody does on a day-to-day basis. There have been times in my life where I have to really think about, how much, gas am I going to get, or, can we eat out, or, should we, go with the generic brand of cornflakes versus, the Kellogg's or what have you, and people live their life like that, and there's nothing wrong with being on a budget, but there's something also very liberating when you can do what you want, when you want, and not have to worry about, the financial aspect of your life. And for me, that's the part of success that I love, because, it's not about necessarily having all those things, the cars, the watches, the houses, and, the homes, and, Aruba, and all these other things, that I have. It's not about that. It's about being able to do what I want when I want. I'm sitting here in my studio in a t-shirt and shorts, and it's, happens to be almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is when I just first came into work. Now, I've actually been doing stuff today, but I did it, on my own terms, at my own pace. And I failed, and I will use the word failure in the true sense of the word. I failed at a lot of things in my life. And I've been defeated at many things in my life. And it hurts, okay? It hurts. Sometimes financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. When you put your heart and soul in something and it doesn't work, it hurts. And other people may snicker and talk about it. And for me, it's actually my family members, the ones that I loan money to, the ones that I take care of. It's so funny. They're the ones that always say, oh, geez, what's up with Mike? Boy, I can't believe he's doing that. Or why would he do something like that? Because they don't think like I do. They don't see things that I see. And they're living their life the way they're living their life because of that. And it happens every day. But you need to understand that as well. And some of the things that I've been temporarily defeated at, some of the businesses where I've been temporarily defeated at, I don't consider them a failure. There have been some businesses that, that work better than others. There have been some businesses that haven't worked at all. There's some businesses we've had to shut down. There are businesses that I've invested in and sold. There are businesses that I've invested in that are just kind of breaking even. But most of them don't work. Most of them don't work. And that's just life, okay? That's just the way it is. And once you realize that and you can recognize it and understand that, when we go back to what I was talking about before, there is no secret sauce, there is no special pill, there is no formula. It's you truly just have to take what it is, what you already have within you, and work at it every single day. And understand that there are going to be days that you're not going to want to do anything. There are going to be days where you've been kicked and you don't feel like getting up. But you do eventually, I have those days too. When you realize that, then things start to happen for you. Things actually start to happen for you. When I was talking to my friend today, I was just, I got, sometimes people say that I come across as angry, and maybe it is a form of anger, but for me, it's more passion because, I talk about caring and not that much a lot of times, but, I do care for people, and I'm more frustrated, when people can understand and conceptualize what I'm talking about and fully appreciate what I'm talking about, and they have all their faculties, and they're an able-bodied person, and they can implement the things that I'm talking about, and they can do the things that I'm talking about, and then they just don't do it. Yeah, I might come across as angry, but I'm more passionate because it is very, very, very sad Right now the political world is in turmoil, and people are all upset all over the place, and Trump is constantly being talked about, and people are, just up in arms and going bananas about it. And most of those fucking people that are posting on Facebook that are unhappy with Trump and this, that, the other thing, they never do anything about it, and they've never done anything about it, but yet they bitch about it all day long. Another one of my posts that recently caused some controversy, I said, if you don't like what's going on in this world today, then fucking do something about it. If you don't like what's going on in this world today, then fucking do something about it. Okay? You don't like the political world. You don't like Donald Trump. You don't like the Republicans controlling the Senate. You don't like the Republicans controlling, the entire political arena. Okay? You don't like the Democrats. It doesn't really matter. Go out and do something about it. Right? Rather than posting on Facebook. Posting on Facebook isn't going to help whatever it is you're trying to do. You need to physically go out and do something. Go door to door, okay, and knock on people's doors. Hold signs. Go to call centers and make phone calls on behalf of a political candidate. Run for office if you feel as though that you can have a positive impact in this world. You go out and do something about it, okay, rather than bitching about it. And that applies to your own personal life as well. If you're not happy with where you're at in life, you need to go out and actually do something about it rather than talking about it. And so when I come across as angry or passionate or amped up like I am right now, call it whatever it is you want to call it. But if you don't do anything, then shut the fuck up and stop bitching about it. Right? Some people say, Mike, why do you swear so much? Well, number one, I'm from Boston. And number two, I call them sentence enhancers. And if you don't like the F word, then I'm not the guy for you. And that's okay. But like I said earlier, you only have so many days on this planet to do stuff. You only have so many minutes, so many hours, so many years, so many weeks. Whatever your time frame is that works for you, you don't have a lot of time. But yet you constantly bitch about where you're at and how you want more and you want to do this and you want to do that and you don't do it because you're constantly making up excuses and why it won't work. And maybe you've read my books. Maybe you've read other books. Maybe you've gone to seminars. Maybe you've gone to webinars, whatever it is, and you still don't do it. And you might be saying, why am I still where I'm at in life? And again, there is no secret formula. There's a lot of great things, a lot of great books, a lot of things you can listen to, a lot of, this podcast in particular that hopefully is motivating you and getting you fired up. There's a lot of things that you can do, but ultimately you as a human being need to actually do stuff. You can't just think about it. I mean, you've heard me talk about this before. I was telling my friend earlier today, dreaming is for sleeping. Stop dreaming about what you want in life and go out and do it. My next book that's actually coming out in November, Blueprint for Business. Okay, Blueprint for Business. I'm a little rough, a little raw when I talk about business and the things that people need to do. And a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people don't realize it. But again, it's simple. It's simple stuff. You got to work at it. You have to work at it. And so, yeah, I'm passionate. Yeah, I might come across as angry. And a lot of times, the people that work for me, I give people such great opportunities, and I have guys, that are working for me and making great livings, and they could do so much better, and they don't. And yeah, that frustrates me. It frustrates me to the point where sometimes I want to let them go because I feel as though that maybe this isn't the right arena for them. This isn't the right business for them. Maybe they'll be successful somewhere else doing something else. And I tell them all the time, I say, look, if you're not happy here, okay, if you're not happy in your particular job, you listen to this right now, and you're not happy in your career, you're not happy in your relationships, but you stay in it, that's on you. That is on you. People say, oh, well, I need a certain income or I need to do certain. Okay, so you're just going to sacrifice your own happiness and your own mental well-being, which ultimately is going to have a physical impact on your life. You're going to sacrifice that because of, your financial life. If you're making $100,000 a year at a particular job, okay, and you're accustomed to that lifestyle, all right, you can go out and find another one. And I talk about ways on how to do that as well, okay? I mean, there's only so much time we can go, here. We're getting close on the 30-minute mark. And, I just feel as though that if you're really listening to what I'm saying and you understand that, that you can harness that negative energy that this world, kind of surrounds us with, all this negative stuff. And again, most of it's on social media, it's on the news, it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, it's on Snapchat, it's your family, it's your parents, it's your siblings, it's your coworkers. Everybody's always telling you the things you can't do. And then if you take that stuff and you turn it into a positive thing and then you go out and actually do something, you will be amazed at what will happen in your life. All right, so my name is Michael Alden, and we'll see you soon.
The blueprint.